of gold. It's something that could look like a brim or something like that. So a good proven pattern with all the cool stuff that makes these flies fairly easy to tie, but still very highly deadly and efficient. Okay, so first up, what we're gonna use is today we're gonna use some. Just tell you some bucktail, or you can just click in the corner to see the material list. Some flesh and some saddle feathers and stuff like that. Well, let's just get to it, and click in the corner to see the full material list. Well, first off, we're going to use a bundle of olive bucktail. Bucktail is great and has numerous applications for pike flies. But what I especially enjoy about it and like about it is that it has a bit of a firm stiffness to it that actually will help support the rest of the fly here and keep the rest of the fly voluminous. Volume, I don't know how that exactly is pronounced, but very good. So as you can see, I'm tying this on a future fly tube. I'm also using the new future fly thread, which is thinner than most other of the GPS threads, and so far, and I've tied quite a lot of flies with this. So far, it hasn't had the thing the other ones does, where it kind of entangles and stuff like that. So very good. Also, it's thinner, so you can use this for pike flies, but you can also use it for any other flies. I really like this. I even think it's better than the Vivus, which I'm I'm still fond of the Vivus, but this is going to be the one thread I'm going to use for, well, basically everything from now on, I think. So as you can see, I tied it so that all the ends were pointing forward on the fly, on the tube, and then I move it, I fold it all backwards, and I take my thread and I just tie just up in front of it, not on top of the hairs here, but just in front of it, using some thread to build kind of like a base that can force the hairs backwards, but not tied exactly on the hairs. And this gives a corona effect, as you can see, and this will support all the rest of the materials, and will make sure your fly has this nice profile and it really has some bulk in the water. Oh, I need to get another one. This one is too shabby, too thin. So next up is we're gonna use some ever popular big fly fiber, one of the best products ever made for big flies. And this is one of the new blended colors. This is the golden olive one. A particularly nice color for most waters, because this simply looks like food. This color. I'm gonna take a fairly decent bundle of this. And the reason why I take you could tie 2 bundles of these in, and I've done that a lot in some of the other videos, but I'm just gonna take a slightly bigger bundle here than what I normally do, and then only use one. And so as you can see, I kind of spread this out to ensure that I can distribute it almost evenly as you can around the tube to give this again to make this fly uniform all the way, make it completely the same all the way around the tube, like so. And then you get a lot of volume from the curly part of the fibers, and you get a lot of life in the part of the fibers here that are simply just straight. So if you're not familiar with big fly fiber, pick some up if you like to tie big flies, because, well, it is what it is, the best big fly material around, at least the best I ever came across. And I can say that I think I can say that I've tried quite a lot of stuff so far. Good. So far so good. Now what we want to do is we want to add some flesh here, and the flashabou magnum is by far the best flash I ever tried. This is 52 centimeters long. It is a bit thicker, a bit more thick than ordinary flash. That's why it's called magnum. It's longer and it's thicker. I'm gonna take a bundle of this, and since it's 62 centimeters long, this actually allows us to make a very nice, very long fly without good. This allows me to make a fairly long fly. This allows me to make a fairly long fly, as you can see, but still be able to have enough materials to double it. So first of all, I'm going to take this end and I'm going to pull this out so the ends here are not uniform in length. Then I'm just going to make sure that the rest of the material is straight, and I'm going to tie this down. So approximately something, I would say something like 30 centimeters, something like that. This has to be roughly the same length as the big fly fiber. Again, I'm going to try to distribute it as evenly as I can all the way around the tube here, like so. And then I'm going to tie this down like that. And the advantage of having this flashabou so long and have flesh that is of this length is that now I'm able to just simply take the leftover stuff here, and I'm just going to tie it bit more down here, like so. I just can take the leftover stuff here, fold it backwards, and then I have all the flesh and a very nice tapering effect of my flashabou here, and I've not cut off any flesh at all. And that's very nice, because on these pike flies you tend to use a fairly decent amount of flesh, and there's no need whatsoever to ever cut any of the flesh materials off here, because if you cut flesh off, that's simply stuff that could have added to the fly, and that you potentially wasted money, say. So I'm going to take the same flesh, only in gold this time. Do exactly the same trick here to give it a bit more color, and make sure that the fly here will shine in different light, and also the flesh I used here is not the magnum. It's a thinner flesh, but still 52 centimeters long. That's called predator flesh. Also a headrun product, also a flashabou product. Very nice, exactly the same way as I did before. Gonna turn this over, tie it down so it's tied down double, to ensure that everything is exactly where I want it. And as you can see now, we have this very broad, wide profile here, with the flesh in every direction, 2 different colors and stuff. And this really will have a great impact in the water. But still, the fly is very light. It's comprised. It's made of purely materials that do not soak up water. So for the size of the fly, you have an incredibly light fly. Easy to cast, which is crucial. Oops. There's a new camera device. It's a new device I use to hold the camera. I'm not sure if I like it or not. I like the lens though. The lens is also new. So far so good. Now we're gonna add some lateral scales, and lateral scales is a very broad flash. So this is the 3rd different type of flash here. It's a very broad flash, and I'm gonna add this in red, because red will again give even more contrast, and really suits this color here, this color scheme of this fly very well. So and also we can call it bleeding now. it's not only to call it bleeding that I add it. It really, I really believe it has some effect in the water. But the red color, especially for this flesh here, gives really, as you can see on the video as well, some truly nice effect. And since this is broader again, I have 3 different types of flesh now, which will make all these different types of flesh move at different fluctuations in the current and in the water. So this fly will move very much and be very alive in the water. Something the pike really goes for. I think you need to build flies that are diverse and have as good a chance as possible to actually lure even tricky pike, because of course you can catch fish if only you used one of these types of flesh and just tied on a bundle on a big hook. You could definitely catch a pike with that, but first of all, I don't think you would catch all pikes with that, because pikes, even though they tend to be regarded as fairly stupid and just something that just slams your fly at any chance they get, it's not always the fact. I've seen many days where actually a slightly change of color or a slight change in speed of the fly was the thing that actually made the day or simply made the day from catching nothing to catching a lot of fish. So pikes can of course be, this stupid predator that just grabs anything that comes along its path, but they can also be very wary and very tricky to lure. So I'm taking 5 or 6 of these saddle feathers. These are grizzly yellow, and I'm gonna lay these down. If you want to have these very beautifully laid down, you can do that one at a time. But I've prepared them in my hands, so I can just tie them down, all 5 of them here, and get the effect I'm going for. I can see that they are pretty evenly distributed here, and as you can see, again, this adds contrast and adds quite a lot to the pattern. I use mainly the kirk saddle feathers, because it's the best quality you can get for your money. I've not seen anything quite like them, and I'm fortunate enough to know a good kirk distributor, and I get the best of the best. All my saddles I hand pick, so the saddles I have in my shop are hand picked from a larger order at the wholesale distributor. So I only pick the best quality for my shop. I know that fly tying can be quite difficult to buy online, but I can assure you that I spend quite a lot of time making sure that all the stuff I have is of the best quality. And if it wasn't of the best quality, I simply wouldn't sell it. So nothing leaves my shop without me having approved of it. Well, as you can see now, most of the flesh and stuff like that I've tied down doubly, but you can't do that with the saddle feathers, and you want the saddle feathers to be securely fastened. So what I do is I take some sabagap, and simply the great stuff with sabagap, it has this small brush here, so you can just brush some sabagap on the places where you want it, and the super glue simply make sure that your saddle feathers, your expensive, regretfully they are expensive saddle feathers, stay exactly where you want them to be. Good. Next up, ostrich. Ostrich is great because it's much more durable than one should expect, and it gives a tremendous amount of movement in the water. So take a small bundle of these. It's important to get ostrich in a good quality. You don't want something that is only 8 or 10 centimeters long. You need something that is long. The ones I have in my shop, I struggle, and again, I have a very high standards for the quality of ostrich, so I only have the best, and I hand pick my ostrich from my supplier as well. So if a package of ostrich is not up to standard, I simply won't have it in my shop. So this is a golden brown color, and I take this and again tie it down so it's facing forward, and I'm tying it down so it's laying all the way around the tube here, like this, using some turns of the thread. Just gonna hold everything back and cut off these stumps here. No need for those. Well, I can see I I missed quite a lot of. There wasn't any ostrich on your side. Sorry about that. It shouldn't be cheated like that. I'm just gonna take a few more hurls here. Like so. Gonna tie them down here. Pike is great fun. I'm looking so forward to both the winter fishing, but also the spring fishing. The spring fishing is the part of the pike fly fishing I like the best, because you get to use a lot of poppers, and popper is, well, popper is just well beyond. It is out of this world. It's so much fun. Well, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a golden olive marabou feather. This one looks fairly nice. And I'm gonna tie this down and use it as a hackle to kind of make the front part of this fly even bigger, to make it more dense, to make it like the head of the fly, the head of this small brim, or what we will decide on this should look like. And I'm gonna turn it just like a hackle. Tied it down in the tip. That's the easiest way, and also it's not possible to turn actually a marabou feather if it isn't tied down in the tip, because the feather so fast becomes too thick to actually be useful or anything. Gonna make sure everything is folded back. I'm gonna turn my thread here to fasten the hackle. And the reason why I have all this sticking out is because we're gonna put a flyman fish skull on here and make that turn all the ostrich feathers, which will give the fly even more bulk, that I haven't tied them down, kind of like, you know, the standard way. So, cutting that off, like so, folding everything backwards. Gonna make my whip finish here, and my nut here is gonna be covered with the plastic head, the plastic fish mask, which will again ensure that that my head here won't be terrorized by the pike's teeth, and again making my fly even more durable. Also, when I'm doing it like this, I ensure that the fish skull will be filled with material, so there will be no room left for air bubbles and stuff like that, making it fish even better. So, as you can see, I'm going to take the flyman fish masks, turn all of this backwards, like so, fold it backwards. I'm going to take my fish mask here, add it to the tube, pull it backwards, like so. And there you have it. And this fly is so light. It's easy to cast. It has the correct weight when you add the hook, so it will simply hover in the water exactly the way I like it to. It's very lively, moves very erratic in the water, and well, will outfish most other flies there is. And this way of tying your pike flies, this what do you say, this model for tying your pike fly is, after a lot of testing and a lot of different techniques and stuff like that, this is the model, the standard model I'm using for most of my pike flies now. So, oh, one final touch. Just gonna take my Sabagap, add a small drop the dentation, to the groove in the pre-made groove in the head. I'm gonna take one of my Frantic eyes, and I can assure you that I am the cheapest shop online for these eyes. I have them for 15 Danish kroner package, which is €2. No matter the size, no matter the color, well, gonna put one of the very popular colors, the black, gold, and silver on here, and there you have it. Booyah! Just ready for a hook and your gold. You can of course tie this fly as well on direct on a hook. I like the tube, I must say. Well, there it is. Thank you for listening to my rantings.